Good afternoon. Now we are going to start the lecture. This module, there are 3 sessions I am going to do. This module is about project appraisal and financing. So there are 3 sessions. Today 1 session and 2 more sessions, and there will be 1 question from this session, this module, this subject. Well, project appraisal and financing. In this one, we will be discussing project identification and management cycle, then process and projects, what are the differences, then public and private projects we will discuss. In the project appraisal, there is pre-feasibility and feasibility studies, then the real project appraisal proper, that is marketing appraisal, technical appraisal, managerial, financial, economical, and environmental appraisal we will be discussing. So when we are doing that one, there will be project cost estimation, working capital estimation, then to see the real evaluation, financial evaluation, we will be doing NPV, that's its net present value, FIRR, financial internal rate of return, and EIRR, actually first 2 only we will be doing. EIRR, that is economic internal rate of return, we won't be doing. Then implementation schedule of a project, that will be discussed with bar charts. And there are other methods also, CPM, critical path method, and network analysis that we won't be doing. In this one, we will be doing only bar charts, implementation schedule. Okay, now let us go. Project definition. Project definition. I am going to use the board. If the board is not clear to you, you can pin the whiteboard. You can pin, then you will get the very clear the board. Right. So when we say project, you must understand what is the meaning of project. What is the meaning of project? It's an investment activity. Investment activity, where we will spend or spend resources and costs. We will be spending resources and cost. So thereby we will create capital assets. Capital assets. So it's an investment activity where we will expend resources and cost and create capital assets. These capital assets will provide or will give benefits. Will give benefits. That is by way of products, services, for a period, for a extended period. So that is the project. Meaning of project. It's an investment activity, investing, and resources and costs are expended, thereby create capital assets, and that capital assets will produce benefits. Benefits mean services, products, services, yes, to the people for an extended period. So that is the project. So when we look at it, actually this type of activity need planning. We have to plan, implement, manage, control, etc., etc. This is plan. Definition of plan. So now we read it. You can switch on to the subject matter there in your computer. So when we say project definition, an investment activity upon which resources, that is, costs are expended to create capital assets that will produce benefits over an extended period of time and which logically lends itself to planning, financing, and implementing as a unit. That is management. This is the project. A project is unique in that it is not a routine operation. It is a specific one. It is not a routine operation, a project. Not a routine operation, but a specific set of operations designed to accomplish a singular goal, to achieve a goal. That is the project. A project is temporary in that it has a defined beginning and end in time and therefore defined scope and resources. So project is temporary in that it has a defined beginning and a defined end in time and therefore defined scope and resources. This is the project. Well, now you may understand what is the meaning of a project. Okay, now let us move on. Process and project comparison. Process and project, we see comparison. First of all, we see what is process. From there, you may get a word processing. You are processing something to produce something. You are processing something to produce. That is processing. So process means a series of action or steps to achieve a result. When you do something, you may take series of action or steps to achieve certain thing. That is process. Now, cleaning the house. So you will be cleaning the house. You may clean the whole rooms and that one step by step cleaning the house. That is to achieve cleanness in the house. So that is process. So that is a routine operation. That is a routine operation. So now we are going to see the difference between process and the project, the comparison. Well, process, routine in nature. My lecturing to you all, it is routine. It is routine. If we start a new diploma program and writing down the syllabus and everything, preparation, all those things, then it may be a project. While doing a lecturing in a class, yeah, it is a routine. So now we are comparing process and project. Process means routine in nature. Project is very specific. It is very specific. Then in the case of process, you may use existing staff and resources. You are using the existing staff and resources. In the case of project, yes, you will get the expertise from the outside. From the outside expertise you will get to implement the project. Then resources allocation on annual basis. Yeah, for the routine operation, the resources, they will budget. Annual basis, they will do it. They will allocate the resources on the annual basis, budgeting. But in the case of project, for the entire project, you will plan and allocate the resources for the entire plan. That is for the duration of the project. Resources allocated for the project period. Then, in the case of process, survival is generally current level of operation. Depending on the operation, current level of operation, the survival. But in the case of project, it is growth oriented. It is growth oriented. There will be incremental benefits, that is additional benefits more than the present level. So there will be additional benefit that we call incremental benefit. So in a project, you must get or you are targeting incremental benefit. Then in the case of process, it is internalized, structured, already planned and everything, programmed activities, internalized and become habits. That is a habit. In the case of process, yes, when doing it, it is internalized and it is structured one. So it is as a habit. But in the case of project, new competencies you need. You must bring new competencies you have to bring and guidance are required in the case of project. So this is a difference or comparison between a process, which is a routine operation, and the project. So project one is a specific one. So what I am trying to do is, people are saying project, always saying project. So what is really meaning of a project? As a financial manager or as a bank credit officer or bank officer, manager, you must know the meaning of a project. Okay, now in the case of projects, there are two types of projects. One is public project and the other one private project. Public and private. Public means it is by the country, for the benefit of people, for the benefit of the citizen. It's a public project. Private project, yeah, it is for a certain person or group of people, for the benefit of those person or those group. That is the main difference between the public and the private project. So there are a few examples we can look at. Developing a software program for an improved business process. So now, business, some people are carrying on business, so that this process is going on. So they want to develop a software program to improve their business. So that is a private project. That is a private project. In the case of banks and financial, the type of projects we are getting mostly is a private project. Then, construction of a building or bridge. So this one, who is doing it? Whether the government authority, local government, or the provincial council, or the urban council, or that type of organization, when they are doing, it is a public project for the benefit of the people. A school building, constructed. School building for the benefit of the students. For the benefit of the student is a public project. A bridge is constructed over a river for the people to cut short their distance, travel. So it's for the benefit of the people. So it is a public project. A condominium property is constructed by a company. Then it is for the benefit of that company. Then it will be a private project. So construction of a building or a bridge, depending on who is doing, for the benefit of whom, depending on that one, you can say it is public or private project. Then, relief after natural disaster. Yes. Now, heavy rain, then of course, lands and roads and everything went underwater, floods. So providing relief to those affected people. That's also a project, very specific. That's also a project, very specific project. Providing relief to the floods affected people. is a public project. Relief after natural disaster. Expansion of a sale in a new geographical area or a market. Or company want to expand their sale in a new market. New market, they have identified that market. They want to promote their sales. They want to promote their sales in that area. So this is done by a private party. So it is a private project. This is also a specific. Maybe that company may be selling their goods in other areas, but this is a newly identified area. They are going to geographical area. They are going to market their product. So it is a private project. Introducing new syllabus for AL students by the government, by the education department. Yes, this is for the benefit of the student. Then it is a public project. Establishing a dairy farm on commercial basis by a company. They want to establish a dairy farm in an area. In a maybe in Worli area or Haptale area, they are going to establish a dairy farm. So it's a private project. Now, construction of those roads. You can see so many roads have been constructed by the country, by the government. Those are public projects. Construction of the Hambantota Harbour is a public project. Construction of Hambantota Airport is a public project. So now you understand there are two types of projects. One is public projects and another one is private projects. Locally in Sri Lanka, banks and finance companies, if we are financing projects, these are mainly private projects. The public projects have been implemented by the government or the government agencies, maybe with the assistance of foreign grant or foreign aid or foreign loans. So those are public projects. So now you understand the difference between the public project and the private project. So these are certain basic things. As a financial officer, as a credit officer, or a bank manager, you must know about projects. So now we have seen what is the meaning of a project. What are the different? What is the meaning of a process? I have told you the process means taking steps or action to achieve a result. That's all. Then difference between the process and the project we have seen, and then we have seen public and private projects. What are the differences between the public and private projects? We have compared it. Okay. In the case of public projects, stakeholders, who are the people involved in these public projects or affected parties, so whatever it is, stakeholders in public projects, direct beneficiaries, the people who will be benefited, by projects. Then one stakeholder. Then indirect beneficiaries. There may be indirect beneficiaries also. There may be indirect beneficiaries. So other parties. Then affected parties. There are affected parties also. Maybe when they expand the road, and developing the road. So when they are doing, sometimes they may take the lands from the other areas. They may take the lands for the purpose of expanding the road. Affected parties, owners of the land, their land has been taken for the expansion of the roads. Affected parties. Then funding agencies. There are who are funding. Then suppliers of goods for that project, contractors who are doing the contracts of the road development contracts, who are doing it. Then consultants who are preparing the project report and following and managing, helping them. Yes, consultant. Then the project staff. So in a project, when a public project is being done, there will be a project office implementing for the purpose of implementation. Then the project staff will be nominated. There may be a project director appointed. There may be assistant director. There may be accountant. There may be various other professionals. project start. Then implementing agency, there will be a implementing agencies. In the case of public projects, for the purpose of road expansion, maybe the building road expansion authorities, they may be the implementing agencies. Or when they are constructing a big building, there may be building department. There may be the implementing agency. There may be implementing government agency. There will be implementing government agency. So they are the stakeholders in public projects. They are the stakeholders in public projects. So this is for your understanding about the projects, the private projects and the public projects. Projects to meet 3 targets. Yes, any project to meet 3 targets. That is, in order to have the quality, ensure the quality of the project, in order to ensure the quality of the project, there are 3 targets. So what are those? Projects to meet 3 targets. Quality, scope. This is the framework of the project. Scope of the project, when we say, it is a framework of the project. In the scope, so what are the end results expecting? Expecting end results. Scope of the project. What are we expecting from this project? What are the benefits? What are the deliveries? What are the deliverables from this project? So scope of the projects. That is one target, scope of the project. Another one is cost of the project. Another one. So project to meet 3 targets. Then another one, time frame, time. So these 3, the quality of the project depending on 3 things. Scope of the project, whether they really provide benefits to the people, anticipated benefits, what are the benefits? And then cost, whether this project is achieved within the cost. If they would have planned to achieve this cost within 100 million rupees, yes, if they can achieve that one, then that improves the quality of the project. But if sometime, not sometime, most of the time, that exceeded the cost estimation, they would have planned for 100 million, sometimes it may go 120 million. We call it cost overrun. That word, cost overrun. Cost overrun. So if there is a cost overrun, that will affect the quality of the project. Similarly, the time frame. They may plan it to achieve the results, complete and achieve the results, achieve the benefits, say within the period of 3 years. But most of the time, it exceeds the target. Maybe 3.5 years or 4 years. We call it time overrun. So cost overrun, time overrun. So this cost overrun and time overrun will affect the quality of the project. Whether it is public project or private project, these 3 targets should be there to achieve the quality of the project. The quality of the project depends on these 3 targets. So one is scope of the project, other one is cost of the project, and the time schedule of the project. If there is any variation, that will affect the quality of the project. So in the case of private project which we are financing, you must keep this one in your mind. You must keep in your mind. Even in the private projects, when banks are financing the projects for the entrepreneurs, there is generally cost overrun is there. That is, the implementing people, the person is not concerned with that one. And there will be time overrun also, there we have seen. So definitely, when there is cost overrun or the time overrun, it will affect the quality of the project. And when they go out of the scope, that also will. So the scope also should be there, cost also should be there within that defined amount, and the time schedule also should be, the time frame also should be within that one. Okay, now we will come project cycle. We will come to project cycle. What is project cycle? Sequence of analytical phase through which a project passes. So a project passes through certain stages. When a project is implemented, that not only implemented, when a project is identified, formulated, and implemented, it will go through a cycle. It will go through a cycle. First one, identification of the project. So what is the project? Now, this is also applicable to private projects as well as public projects. Anyway, now, since we, the banks and finance companies, financial institutions, we are involved in these private projects. Now, I will take private projects as the example to explain to you. Identification. A SME customer has identified a project for him to start manufacturing of plastic items. Plastic item manufacturing is a project for him because the first time he want to do it. Maybe in the case of other established manufacturers of plastic item, it may be a routine. For an established running industries where they are manufacturing plastic item, it is a routine, it is a process. But this person, now he wants to start. So he has identified a project to manufacture plastic item. So it is going to be a project for him. Then identification. Okay. After identify, he has to prepare. Yes, how to do these projects. Okay. Yes, he is going to do manufacturing of plastic item. Now, yeah, how to do it? Formulation, preparation or formulation of the project. Okay. Then he will be analyzing with the help of other people analyzing. Then he may go to a bank for a financing. So the financial officer, the credit officer will appraise whether the feasibility of the project, he will appraise it. There is another term, evaluation also there. Yes, but appraisal it. He will appraisal it. The bank credit officer will appraise the project. If he is satisfied, then the project will be implemented. The financial institution may provide the required facility, credit facility. So the project proponent, that SME customer, will implement the project. And when the project is implemented, at the end, that project will be evaluated. What has happened to this project? Is it a success? Whether there are any setbacks? Whether it is a failure? Yes. So these are the identified stages in a project cycle. We call it sequence of analytical phase through which a project passes. So there will be identification, then there will be a preparation or formulation of the project, then the analysis, then the appraisal by the financial institution, then the implementation and evaluation. Finally, there can be variation in these stages depending on the nature of the project. Sometimes, depending on the nature of the project, there can be small variation in these stages. Once the project is completed and achieved, then what will be? It will continue as a routine operation. It will be a process thereafter. Once again, I am telling you, once the project is completed and objectives are achieved, it will continue as a routine operation. Now, so this man, the SME customer, he wanted to manufacture plastic items for marketing. That is his project. Okay, he identified it, then prepared, formulated, project is formulated, it is analyzed and appraised by the financial institution. Then, okay, the SME customer implemented it, and after implementation, the project will be evaluated. Then the project is completed now. So thereafter, the SME customer will produce plastic item. Then it will be a process, routine operation. Okay? Yeah. Project cycle. Identification is a cycle. You can say identification, preparation and formulation, analysis and appraisal, implementation, where the monitoring and supervision, those very important activities in a project, the implementation, monitoring and supervision, very, very important. So the project is implemented. Once the project is completed, it is evaluated. It is evaluated. So if it is successful, if the project is successful, this project will go on as a process, and the implementing agency or the financial agency, they can implement similar projects. If it is successful, they can implement again and again. They can implement. That's what we call it, project cycle. This is the project cycle. Hope it is clear to you all. I hope. Project cycle. Then the project management. Whether it is a public project or a private project, project management is very, very important. In the case of public projects, very large projects, those are implemented in billions of rupees. So project management is very, very important. The application of knowledge, skill, techniques to execute projects effectively and efficiently. That is the project management. Effectively and efficiently, you all know, effectiveness, doing the right thing, and efficiency, doing the thing rightly or correctly. So when we say effectively and efficiently, this is doing the thing, doing the right thing, right way, doing the correct thing, correct way. That is the meaning of effectiveness and efficiency. So the application of knowledge, skill, techniques to execute projects effectively and efficiently, that is project management. So there, the involvement, what are things involved? It is planning, budgeting, organizing, leading, coordinating, controlling, etc. These are the management functions. In a project management, these are the functions should be carried out effectively and efficiently. It is very specified and different from managing the usual commercial operation. Just managing the usual commercial operation, those are routine operations, those are process. So this project management is very, very different from the managing the process or the process managing the routine operations. So it is very specialized and different from managing the usual commercial operations. The project management. So this is applicable to both private as well as public projects. So when we are granting facilities for the customers, our customers may be SME customers or what type of customers, project loans, we have to be very careful in regard to these items. So monitoring and follow-up is very, very essential in this type of projects. Okay, now we have the basic thing about projects. We understood what is the meaning of projects. private and public projects, in the project management, all those things we have seen. Now we come to the bank or the financial companies. What type of facilities, credit facilities we are granting, and how we evaluate. Just an overview. Just an overview. Credit evaluation by financial institutions. Credit evaluation by financial institutions. We are really granting four major type of facilities. Four major type of facilities. One is consumer credit. One is consumer credit. We are granting. Please go on to this whiteboard. Yeah. Consumer credit. There are mainly personal loans. Maybe to purchase a car, purchase household items like washing machine, TV, maybe like that, yes. Household item. And then children, higher education. For the children higher education, we may borrow to send the children of children abroad for higher education. The personal loan. Maybe giving dowry or marriage, wedding expenses of our children, giving dowry or wedding expenses. Children. So these are personal loans. This comes under consumer credit. Then housing loan. Housing loans. This also comes under consumer credit. Housing loans. This also comes under consumer credit. So we will, banks, finance companies are granting these facilities, credit facilities. And when we want to evaluate, appraise, when we want to appraise this one, appraisal should be done in a systematic way. Whatever the loan, whether it is consumer credit or commercial credit or development credit or international trade credit, we have to appraise it. Whether this is feasible, whether we can grant the facility, whether it is credit worthy, we have to appraise it. So you can't do it in a haphazard way. You have to do it in a systematic way. So for that purpose, the senior bankers have developed certain tools to appraise or evaluate these projects, these credit facilities. So in the case of consumer credit, they have developed, I am raising this, 5 C's method. 5 C's method. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Character of the customer. Character of the customer. Then capacity of the customer. That is his repayment capacity of the customer. Then what is the capital required? And the contribution of the customer. And then collateral or security provided by the customer. And then what are the conditions? What are the conditions for that facility? That is repayment, then interest rate, other conditions, etc., etc. The vices. So the credit officer will appraise the credit request by the customer for the consumer credit facility in a systematic way. Yes, but how is the character of the customer? So how is his repayment capacity? Repayment capacity. Then what is the capital he require? That means what is the loan amount he is require? And for that purpose, how is he going to contribute his equity contribution? Then what are the collateral or security he is going to provide? Then what are the conditions for this facility? In a systematic way, he will analyze and he will see whether this proposal is credit worthy, whether this customer is credit worthy, whether this customer will repay as scheduled, as anticipated, the capital and the interest. So this is the credit evaluation. This is the credit evaluation for the consumer credit. Pisces method. There are so many other methods. Campari, parser, papers. Yes. Here we are not going to discuss that one, but for your information, I am just telling you because in the case of project evaluation, how we are going to do it. Project appraisal, that is our main objective in this program, in my program. Project evaluation or project appraisal. How we will be doing? So for that one, so I am just showing you how about the other credit facilities we are evaluating. You can compare and see. So this is credit evaluation for consumer credit. This method. There are other methods also. Then commercial credit. Commercial credit, there are two types. One is small and medium business credit. Small and medium commercial credit. Here also we can use this 5Cs method. Making necessary adjustment, we can use this one. So there is another one. Even Campari also we can use. Another one, parser. There's a parser. P-A-R-S-E-R. Person or persons. Amount. What is the amount? Repayment. Security. Expediency. Expediency. Remuneration. This is another tool. Parser. Small and medium commercial credit. Parser is another tool. We can use this tool to evaluate credit requests by small and medium businesses in a systematic way. So credit evaluation or the appraisal we can't do it in a haphazard way. We have to do it systematically. Thereby we cut down the time involvement and everything in a systematic way. We can do it. So for the small and medium one, this is a parser method. P, person or persons, or even the directors of private limited liability companies. They are involved in this small and medium businesses. Yeah, person. How is the person? Their credibility, their character, Then what is the amount they require? Then how is the repayment? Then how is the security? What is the security or collateral they are going to give for the facility? Then expediency. Expediency means how they are satisfying the bank requirement. How they are satisfying their bank requirement. They are, of course, their managerial capability, financial management capability, technical management capability, marketing management capability, you will analyze. So, passer for the small and medium business credit, for us to evaluate bank credit officer or the manager, for him to evaluate in a systematic way, he can use this tool. Passer, person. Who are the person managing? Then it may be a single person or partnership or sole proprietorship, single person or partnership, or even directors of the company. Then the amount, what is the amount they require? Then repayment, how is the repayment? Then what are the securities or collateral they are providing for this facility? Then expediency, how they satisfy the bank requirement in regard to managerial, financial management, then technical management, marketing. For a business, these are very important things. They must have the capability and the capacity to manage various management functions. And then remuneration, yes, how the bank is benefited financially by granting this facility. What is the interest rate and what is the income from the interest? Whether there are any other charges, service charge, or whether any other charges which will bring income to the bank. Remuneration to the bank or financing institution. What is the remuneration for the financing institution? So you will analyze step by step in a systematic way and make your decision whether this is credit worthy. So this is for the small and medium commercial credit. Right. And then the corporate credit. Corporate credit. Corporate credit is a very big wholesale banking. Corporate credit is a very big. So all banks or even finance companies, they have their corporate customers. For the corporate customers, they have a definition. Each bank will have a definition for their corporate customer. So the customers coming within that definition, within that criteria, are considered as corporate customers of that financial institution. That's a bank or a finance company. That depends on corporate customers depend on turnover of the business per annum, annual turnover, number of employees, then asset value, so each bank or the finance company will have criteria for on these things: turnover, annual turnover, or number of employees, asset value for their corporate customers. Whoever satisfying that values are considered as their corporate customers. So when they provide finance to those corporate customers, we consider it as corporate credit. So corporate credit also should be analyzed when they make a request. Corporate customers make a request for a credit facility. We must analyze again systematically. So there we use a different tool. What is it? Environment analysis. So they are pestle analysis. We call it pestle. Pestle analysis. Environmental analysis. Pestle. P-E-S-T-E-L. Environment. Political. Environmental. Sorry. Economical. Political. Economical. Social. Technological. Again, environmental. Legal. This is environment analysis. So this is one. First, environment analysis. Then I'm going to erase this since the space is muddy. So this is first environment analysis. Actually, this corporate credit, we call it 5 pillars analysis. 5 pillars analysis. We call it as 5 pillars analysis. First pillar, the environmental analysis. Then the second pillar, industrial analysis. Industry, where this corporate customer is working. There are so many industries, different industrial sector. Now, garment industry. One corporate customer is working in the garment industry. So we have to analyze how is the garment industry. We analyze. Now, another customer, corporate customer is in the food industry. He is manufacturing various types of food. In the sense, maybe noodles, that type of flour, right? Rice flour, like that. There are so many big customers. So another customer in the plastic industry. So you will analyze the plastic industry. How is the plastic industry? Competition within the plastic industry. So that is industrial analysis. Industrial analysis. First one is the environment analysis, then industrial analysis or industrial outlook. Industrial outlook analysis. Industrial outlook. Outlook analysis. And then competitive. Competitive position. Competitive position analysis within the industry. How this particular customer, corporate customer, how is his competitive position? How is his competitive position within the industry? That analysis. Then financial analysis. Then managerial analysis. Finally, managerial analysis. Then finally, credit structuring or loan structuring or credit structuring. and collateral quality analysis. Collateral quality analysis. Altogether 6 pillars. The first one was the, I have already, environment. Actually, the first one and the second one common for the country. First one, environment of the country. Second one, industry outlook in the country. So first one, these are common for the country. It is applicable to all industries, all type of customers, these two. Here the competitive position of that particular customer, financial analysis of that particular customer, managerial analysis of that particular customer, credit structuring, collateral quality analysis for that particular customer. So this is 3 to 6 are for that particular customer. So first and second one we consider as one, so it is called as this is one, then other 4, 5 pillars analysis. That is the reason. But if you really look at it, there are 6 pillars in the case of corporate customers analysis. If you look at it, there are 6 pillars. But first and second, that is environment analysis, common for the country. Actually, we call it country risk analysis. The environmental analysis, there is another term, environment analysis, there is another term internationally used, country risk analysis. Risk analysis. That is environment analysis. That analyze political, economical, all those. So this we do, this type of analysis we do, corporate credit customers. Now look at here. So environment, because this corporate customer is already within the business, already in the industry. Maybe for the last 4 or 5 or 10 or 15 years, they are in the business. They are in the business. So we are analyzing how is the environment, then how is the industrial outlook, where this customer is working, how the industry outlook, and where this customer is within this industry, competitive position. So this is the corporate customer who are within the industry for so many years. For so many years. So we use this tool to analyze the 5 pillars analysis for the corporate customers. Well, I will erase it. Now the development credit, Sangvartana credit, Sangvartana 9. They are of course microfinance, that is for the small credit. They are of course group lending, group formation, group lending, that one in the development credit. Other one is the project finance. Other one is the project finance. So the project finance, especially SME finance. For the SME, small and medium and entrepreneurs, small and medium enterprises or entrepreneurs, small and medium finance. We call it a project finance. Why? Small and medium enterprises are not in the business for so many years. They are new and young enterprises. That is the difference between SMEs and the commercial credit. Commercial credit, small and medium commercial enterprises are there for so many years. But in the case of SMEs, in the case of SMEs, they are young and new enterprises. Maybe they are for last 3 or 4, maximum 5 years now. Now only they. So these enterprises have to be brought up. They have to be helped. They may not have a sound history, past history, they may not have. SMEs may not have a sound past history, sound past financial position, they may not have. Maybe they may have about 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Those are the SMEs. So in the SMEs, we can't apply what we have applied for corporate customers. That 5 pillars we can't apply. Because within the industry, they may be nowhere. They are, of course, within the industry. In the case of corporate customers, we are analyzing what is the industry, how is the competitiveness of the industry, and within the industry, their competitive position, the corporate customer's competitive position, where that customer is within the industry. If you apply that one, the 5 pillars of credit for these SMEs, they may be nowhere. So we are using another tool for small and medium enterprises, small and medium SME customers. We are using another tool to identify that we are going to discuss. So in this one, this appraisal technique, evaluation technique only we will be discussing because it is project finance. For the SME customers, we are providing project finance. So we are going to use how to evaluate or appraise project loans we are going to use. So now you understand the difference between the consumer credit and the evaluation process. In the case of commercial credit, small and medium business credit, the evaluation process. In the case of corporate credit, yes, the 5 pillars method, the evaluation process. And in the case of development credit, microfinance, this is a group loan formation, group loan, that is. And in the case of SMEs, the project finance is for the SMEs. What is the evaluation technique or evaluation or appraisal technique or tool we are going to apply? Then the international trade credit. Finally, the fourth one is the international trade credit, that is import and export. International trade credit. Import, export. So this is also commercial operation. Import and export, this is also commercial. Trading, commercial operation. So we apply the commercial credit appraisal technique depending on their size, whether it is small and medium. Yeah, we may use the PASA method which we have discussed. Or if the import and export, the customer is a corporate, then we may use the 5 pillars method for import and export. We may use because these are also commercial operation. Depending on the size of the customer, if he is a small and medium business customer, we may use PASA or similar other tools. If they are corporate customers, then we may use 5 pillars method. So now we have seen in this one the different type of facilities, credit facilities we are providing, banks and finance companies are providing, how we will evaluate. So this is an overview of these credit facilities, overview of the credit facility which we have discussed now. So now you understand why can't we use the corporate customers evaluation technique or the tool that is 5 pillars for the SMEs. Why can't we use for the SMEs? Now you understand. Project appraisal by financial institution. This is for the SME customers. Sometimes even the corporate customer also may come for a project finance. Yeah, somebody, a project finance. They may start a project. They may start a project, big project. So that we will doing in a project appraisal method, we will follow. Corporate customer, when he want to do a project, specific projects, they want to construct a large-scale hospital project. Maybe they want to construct a large-scale hospital project, or they want to manufacturing car project. A corporate customer may want to start a car project, manufacturing car project. So that also large-scale project. We will use our project appraisal technique for that one. Okay. So now we are going to discuss with you about the SME projects, how the project appraisal will be done. So, systematic way, the tool we are using for the SME project appraisal, market appraisal, technical appraisal, entrepreneur or the management appraisal, environmental appraisal, financial appraisal, economic appraisal, risk analysis, mitigation, and loan structuring. This is the rule, or this is the systematic way of appraising the SME projects. Here, of course, we are going to start with market appraisal, yes, because they are the new customer, they are there in the market for last few years. How is their marketing? But in the case of corporate customers, they are there already for about 5, 10, 15 years in the business. They have done their market. They have done their marketing. But in this case, yeah, these are new customers. Maybe they are for about few years, young and new SMEs. So definitely we have to analyze how is their marketing, how is their technical capability, how is their managerial capability, how is the environment for them. Financial appraisal and the economic appraisal we will be doing. So this is the project appraisal tool in case of SMEs. One by one we will go. Okay, before that, now stages of project appraisal. I must tell you now, SME customer, he wanted to do as I told you the example, plastic item manufacturing. So he has had an idea. Maybe he would have worked somewhere else in the plastic industry. He may know the techniques of plastic manufacturing. He may be knowledgeable. So technically he may be good. He may be good. So he wants to start that type of projects. Then, so he has identified, he thinks that he is capable of doing manufacturing and marketing, he may think. Then that is identification. Then what he has to do? He has to formulate. He has to formulate. That is, formulate and prepare a project feasibility report. He will get a consultant, assistance of a consultant. Maybe if he can prepare well and good, he can prepare. But if he is not knowledgeable to prepare a project report, he has to go to a consultant to get a project report written. So project report is here. So he will give the ideas and everything. So the project consultant will ask various questions. Where are you going to have this? Who are you assisting you? How are you going to get the finance? He may tell, I may have this much of money. I want to ask the bank for the balance amount, right? Then how is the machinery? He will tell, I need these machineries. Then he may ask, can you buy locally? Yes, certain thing I can buy locally. Certain thing, of course, we had to import, or I had to buy from the importer of those machineries. Then where are you going to market? He will say, I know this area. I know these customer to whom I have associated with them. So all the necessary information related to that project, the project consultant will ask, and this entrepreneur will tell him. And finally, a project report will be prepared by that external consultant. A project report will be prepared, and the necessary facts and figures should have been given by this entrepreneur, the SME customer has to give. And certain other things the consultant may collect from other areas, and finally the project report is prepared, and in the project report all the analysis should have been given. What we have mentioned earlier, all those items related to this appraisal analysis should have been given about the market potential, market, and then technical, entrepreneur, the management, who are the people going to assist him. Now, he knows only technical, but there are other things, right? Other things in the sense financial, marketing, various other things. Yes, who are the people going to assist him? Then environmental appraisal, financial appraisal. In the financial appraisal, yeah, various things. How is the profitability? How is the sales? What are the expenses? All those things. Right. The project report is prepared by that consultant. Now, this customer, SME customer, take the project report with him and go to the bank. So, customer going to the bank with the project report. So the bank manager or the credit officer has to analyze it, evaluate and see whether this project put forward by this customer is credit worthy, whether the project is credit worthy, whether the customer is credit worthy. In case if they are granting the facility, whether this customer will repay the facility. That is the thing this credit officer or the bank manager has to evaluate. Now, so when the customer given this report to the manager, there will be a preliminary discussion with the customer. The manager will have a preliminary discussion with the customer. Okay, he will collect, yeah, what is this? What sort of project? Then he may ask about him, what you were doing earlier, whether you have worked anywhere else, and all those particular relevant information. The manager will spend some time and had a discussion with this customer and collect and note down. The manager or the credit officer. Then the credit officer, the officer will peruse the project report. Now he will go through the project report. Then certain areas he may agree, certain areas he may not agree. The credit officer while going through the report, yes. So he will mark whatever his observation and everything he will note down. He will note. Sometimes certain things he may not know. Yes, you can't expect a credit officer to know everything under the sun. Maybe one person will come with the plastic industry, one person may come with the food industry, and one person may come with the shoe manufacturing industry. Another person may come with the garment manufacturing industry. Another person may come with the tourist industry. So many industries. So we can't anticipate or expect the bank credit officer to know everything, each and everything. Then, but an efficient credit management officer will try to find out by going through various ways. He will try. So one is collection of information and facts. He may go through the internet, he may go through the books, and he may already have some information in this in his memory. And consultation with experts if necessary. Even then, if he couldn't get certain information, he has to consult a consultant to collect or experts to collect the necessary additional information. He has to. So sometimes maybe an agricultural project. The credit officer may be a Colombo based. He may not know the agriculture. So what he has to do? Then he has to go to the agricultural department, speak to the relevant officers there, directors, about what type of cultivation this customer is going to do. Sometimes some person won't do export. So he may not have the necessary information about the export sometimes. So he has to consult the Export Development Board. So like the relevant authorities. With the relevant authorities, this credit officer has to communicate and try to collect the necessary information in regard to that particular project. Consultation with experts if necessary. And then he will be conducting the appraisal. He will be conducting the appraisal. Once the appraisal is completed, the way I have mentioned, by collecting the various information, everything, and going through the report, making notes whether certain things are acceptable, certain things are not acceptable. Yes, thoroughly going through the report, he will complete conducting the appraisal. After conducting the appraisal, now he has to call the customer for an interview. Now he has appraised, so certain things he may not agree, he is not satisfied. So customer interview. So before the customer interview, he must have everything, facts and figures, what are going to discuss, everything he must prepare and keep it with him. The interview will be open and straightforward. The interview should be open and straightforward, and the credit officer, the manager, should see whether the customer is coming with the facts, whether his integrity is good. The manager or the credit officer should be in a position to judge that one, the customer interview. And if he is satisfied with the customer at that interview, and if the customer clarified all the necessary thing, whatever the thing the manager or the credit officer inquired, if he is clarified, and if those things are acceptable to the manager or the credit officer, then the manager or the credit officer can go for a site inspection. So this SME customer want to start his project in a site, in a land. So that also should be inspected. So then the credit officer or the manager will go for the site inspection. If they are satisfied with the project report and the interview, site inspection, then they will conclude whether to grant this facility or not. So these are the stages of project appraisal. These are the stages of project appraisal. And finally, if everything is okay, they will decide, okay, we can proceed with this one. And depending on the raise, they will ask for the collateral. Now they have gone through the report, visited and see, and everything. There may be even there are risk. They will ask for a collateral. And the customer is said okay with the collateral, then they may proceed further for granting the loan. So here I must tell one thing. In the case of SME customers, for the purpose of preparing the project reports, they have to get a consultant. But the consultant may charge very high fee, they may charge. Their charges may be very high. Sometimes the SME customer may not in a position, to provide that amount to the consultant. So for that purpose, earlier the government have had certain arrangement. There were certain institutions that provide this consultancy and the project report preparation in a nominal fee. The government earlier has a business development unit. They have set up. But now those units are not functioning. And I remember even the NDB, that time, that was a development bank. At the initial stage, National Development Bank was a development bank. But now it is mainly the commercial bank. Now the NDB is a commercial bank. When it was a development bank, it has set up a separate unit for the preparation of project reports, for charging a nominal fee from the customers. If a customer go to the NDB bank, that was a development bank at the time, for an SME credit facility for a project, if he doesn't have a project report, then that customer can go to the NDB that project report preparation unit, and having discussion with those officers. They had a very capable officers. NDB had very capable officers there. Having discussion with them, giving all the necessary information and everything, and they will prepare the project report. And by those officers at the NDP project report preparation unit. Then that project report will be given to the customer. Customer will go to the NDB bank branch and hand out the report. Another officer will appraise it. Another officer will appraise it. Since it is prepared by the NDB staff, they won't take as it is. No. So one officer will prepare the report and another officer in the NDB branch, they were appraising that report. That was there. But even in Bank of Ceylon, yes, there was an SME unit. When the type of customers who are they don't have enough facility to pay a consultant to prepare the project report, that report will be prepared by the SME officers at the SME unit of the Bank of Ceylon. It was prepared. But it was discussed in a credit committee. So there was a credit committee in the SME unit where all the credit officers are there. One officer may prepare the report for that particular customer and all other officers will go through that project report and they will make their observation, comment, ask questions. Sometimes they may disagree with a certain thing. So this was there. So this is there if the customer, even any development bank or any bank, when the customer, of course, has to prepare the project report, then only we can appraise it. But if he is unable to get a consultant to prepare the project report, the bank can help him to prepare the project report. But that should be appraised by another officer or another group of officers. Okay, I hope it is clear to you all. This is the stages of project appraisal. So there are development banks now. In the development banks also, these project reports are prepared for the customer, their customers. So one officer may prepare, but it should be appraised by another officer. Market appraisal. The first one, how to do the market appraisal. So we have seen project appraisal. The various appraisal in a project appraisal. Yeah, one is the market appraisal. So here we are seeing this person is going to produce certain item, maybe products or maybe services. This SME customer is going to produce. Now, this market appraisal, I am going to give you a broad way. What and what things you have to look into. I am not really doing the market appraisal here. No, I am not doing the taking an example and doing the market appraisal. No, how to do the market appraisal. That only I am telling you. I am going to explain you what and what things. Yeah, in a broad way I am telling you. But the relevant thing, depending on the project, you have to take the relevant thing. You have to do it in a relevant systematic way. So first, of course, the customer is going to produce certain item. What are the items he is going to product and services? So in the market appraisal, first, what are the products and services he is going to produce? Then identify that one. Then you see what is the usage of that product or service. What are the special features? Advantage over substitute. If there are any substitute or the competitive products, advantages or the substitutes you have to identify. So what this customer is going to produce, what type of services, what type of products, then usage, for what purpose it is used, what are the special features of this item, and advantage over the substitute. Yeah. First you identify what type of thing he is going to produce. Then you have to analyze the demand. How is the demand for this type of things in the market? The demand may be global, in case if the customer is exporting, it's a global demand. You have to see what domestic demand. So in the India country, if he's going to market, then the regional, if he's going to market in the region, particular region, yeah, how is the demand? That depending on what is the area of marketing. Depending on that one, you have to analyze the demand. So once you analyze the demand, this much of needed used by the customers, by the people. Then how is the supply analysis? So demand analysis and the supply analysis. Whether demand is still there or supply is more, we have to see. Then in the supply analysis, who are the local suppliers? Then who are the competitors for this customer? Who is going to be the competitors? So are the local suppliers or the producers of this item. Then they are going to be the competitors. Who are the competitors? Who are the local suppliers, others? And they are the competitors. Who are they? Then import. So import also, yes, they are. Import also there. So how is the import? Whether import will affect this supply. Then once you analyze that one, export potential analysis. Whether this product can be exported, if he is willing to export, if that customer want to export that one item, whether export potential, what are the countries to which this product can be exported. Then details of other exporting countries. So this product is exported, if you want to export, maybe, yes, the garment. Now, if the customer want to produce a garment, you are analyzing more these things. What is the product? Yes, his garment. What type of garments he want to do? So the advantages. Then what are the special features of this garment? Maybe so many. Yes. Then demand about the garment. In the demand, global, domestic, and regional market. Then the supplier. Who are the local suppliers? Competitors. If you want to sell within the country, yes. And there may be imports also there, whether import will affect this market. Then export potential analysis. So if he want to export, what other countries he want to export? Then details of other exporting countries. Yes, then there are competition. Other exporting countries also there. Vietnam is producing, Thailand is producing, and then China is producing, India is producing, Bangladesh is producing. All these countries are exporting. All these countries are exporting. So exporting, who are going to be the competitors? You must analyze. So this is supply analysis. So first of all, you identify the product or services which this customer want to produce, and then you do the demand analysis for this product. How is the demand? Local demand, then global demand, regional demand. How is the demand? And then supply analysis. So since these are the demand, how the things have been supplied, right? Whether who are the local suppliers, who are going to be the competitors. Then imports, there may be imports, that also being the competition within the country. Then export potential analysis. So if we want to export, what are the countries we want to export? What are the other countries export in the global market? Then the current market price. So how is the market price? Current market price. Local. What is the local other suppliers market price? Imported items. How is the market price? Sometimes imported item may be lesser price, may be less than the local price. Local producer's price, maybe sometime. So you must analyze. You must look at it and analyze. Then propose marketing arrangements. Depending on where he is going to market, within the globally, or within the country, or within the country regional market, how he is going to do the marketing arrangements. We'll see that one later. Then how is the pricing policy? How is the pricing policy? If he is going to produce a new item, which is going to benefit so many people, if he is going to produce a new item, maybe some Ayurvedic drug to reduce the danger or the risk of this COVID-19, maybe he want to produce some Ayurvedic drug. Then he has given to Ayurvedic authority, accepted by them. given the approval, then he is manufacturing, then he can have a very higher price. Generally, price, of course, the people fix the price, cost of manufacturing, plus some margin for them. And then the maximum retail price they will fix, depending on the cost of manufacturing cost, variable and direct and all these overhead costs all included. Find out what is the per unit production cost, and then they will have a margin for them, maybe 30% or 35% margin, and then set the maximum retail price. But in the case of a new drug, which is going to benefit so many people against this COVID-19, and which is approved by the authorities, government authorities, yes, it will definitely benefit after doing certain trials, tests, and everything. If they satisfy here, this will bring some benefit to the people, then he can have a maximum price. There is no competition. There is no competition. So depending on that one, yeah, he can have a very maximum price for that product. No competition. People will benefit. So people will buy. That is a pricing policy. On the other hand, he is going to produce an item which is already there in the market, produced by some other suppliers or manufacturers, which is going to produce. He is going to produce a certain item, which similar item have been already there in the market, produced by other manufacturers. Then what he has to do? He can't have price more than their price. His maximum retail price cannot be more than the other competitors' price, or maybe equal, even equal also. Those are there already. Now, for good example, sunlight soap. For washing purpose, sunlight soap is there for over so many decades. So if you are producing a soap, something similar, people will go and ask for the sunlight soap. Mata sunlight soap. Because then they will ask for sunlight soap. They won't ask this soap. So what he has to do? He has to penetrate into the market. In this consumer market, he has to penetrate into the markets. To penetrate, what he has to do? He has to put the price, maximum retail price, lower than the sunlight soap. And he has to give a big discount to the shopkeepers, the people who are going to sell. He has a real interface with the consumers. The shopkeepers are having the interface with the with the consumers. So this man has to tell, "Nana, tava soap kavila tiyenwa, meka sunlight vada adu mila, soap tam vada ida hondai kiyala." He has to promote. So for him to promote, they have to give a big discount to that shopkeeper. So by that way, they have to penetrate into the market. Sometimes when they set the price, in order to penetrate into the market, that's maybe equal to the cost of production, or maybe less than cost of production. Sometimes, yes, they may have to face loss, less than the cost of production. The sale price, MRP, maximum sale price, maximum retail price, maybe sometime at the initial phase, maybe less than the cost of production. So he has to face the loss. So pricing policy, depending on the situation, depending on the product or services which he is going to produce, and the situation, the pricing policy. So discount. So he has to give a big discount to the shopkeeper who is going to sell, who is having the direct contact with the consumers. And the margin for him, what is the margin? He has to decide. Then how he is going to distribute? Distribution channel. That depending on where he is going to market. If it is regional, so within the region, sometimes he may take a vehicle, load the item, products, and he may take and distribute. Or he want to cover the India island, how he is going to do the distribution channel. How we want to have the distribution channel. That's what I generally say. Even in Mondragala, you go to a a very rural area, some petikade, and ask for a lakso, yes, it is available. It may be Mondragala or it may be Vertical or anywhere in the island. You go to a petikade and ask for the lakso, it is available. How the distribution channel is developed. They have the stockists, they have the agents in each district or in each area. Through them, they will distribute. So this new the producer of that item, how he is going to set up his distribution channel. How he is going to set up his distribution channel. That he must have the plan. Depending on the product and the services, he has to plan the distribution channel. Then, orders. Whether he is going to manufacture it for the confirmed orders or he is just manufacture and distribute. A certain item they produce for the confirmed orders only. Now see, furnitures. Furnitures, both ways possible. Furnitures they manufacture and sell, distribute and sell. But some manufacturers, they manufacture for the confirmed orders, In case, if you are importing certain item, it is only for confirmed orders. You have to give the order and maybe you have to wait for a month to get down the thing. So they say confirmed order, we manufacture only for the confirmed orders. So similarly, whether this person is going to manufacture for the confirmed orders. And then all these sales, there should be a credit element. That is, if a new manufacturer, new supplier, you have to provide credit to the distributor or the shopkeepers. You have to keep, What is the term of the credit? Generally, from 30 days to 45 days credit. Some cases, even 2 months credit they are asking. That is, after supplying, you will get the money. After 2 months only, you will get the money. You may get the post-dated checks. Some cases, you may get the post-dated check. Some cases, no, only on faith. You provide the credit to the buyer. That is the shopkeeper for him to sell to the consumers. So, depending on that one, term of the credit, maybe 100% credit. Sometimes 50% credit, that is 50% cash they will pay and 50% on the credit you will sell the goods. But in the case of new customers, generally it is 100% credit and the term of the period of the credit may be more than 1 month. 1 month or 45 days or even 60 days, like that. So term of the credit, you have to find out. You are the appraisal officer. Depending on this term of credit, you have to work out the working capital requirement also. There are other things you have to work out, and other thing based on the term of credit also. One component of the working capital you have to work out. Then the grants, export incentives, rebates if any provided by the government. For certain item, to promote those items, government may give grants. You manufacture and send. We will provide this much of grants like that. Export incentives may be there. Rebates on duties, rebates may be there, if any. Whether you have to identify that one. Then marketing organization of the project. So in the case of this one, how are you going to market this product? What is the marketing organization? This entrepreneur himself can't do it. Sometimes if it is a small one, he can do it. He can manufacture, he can produce, and he can take it in a vehicle and go. He can market it. But in the case of fairly large, then there should be marketing organization you must have. Who are the key personnel? Who is the marketing manager or the marketing director? Who is the sales representative? Do they have sales representative? How about the experience? These are marketing people. There may be marketing director or marketing manager, sales representatives for each area. There are 24 or 25 districts. So one marketing representative for each district. Then how about their experience in the sale promotion? Do they have the experience? What are their qualifications? So what are the facilities provided to them to promote these goods? Whether they are giving the vehicle or whether they are giving any motorcycles for them to visit the customers and to establish this delivery channel, and to do promotion. What are the facilities given? Yes, you must get all those things. Depending on that one only, you can anticipate how the product will be marketed. So the marketing, how the product will be marketed and everything will be depending on these things. So you have to find out all these things in the marketing appraisal. So if these information are given in the report, project report, if these information are given, yes, you have to verify it. If it is not given, then you have to query it. You have to find out it. For this marketing appraisal, all these information should have been given in the project report. So when you go through it one by one, you analyze and see. If the information are given, whether those information are acceptable. Whether those information are acceptable. Sometimes they may give that one, this one and everything. Sometimes it may be not acceptable. Not realistic. Those information are not realistic. Not those assumptions. They may assume. Those assumptions are not realistic. So you have to query that one. And you have to correct it. Right. Then who are the market? Who are the main buyers? Local or foreign? So you must have. So because if you're going to supply it to the local distributors or the shopkeepers, through them is going to the consumers, then who are they? In the case of foreign, who is the anticipated foreign buyers? Then marketing strategy. How? Now it's a new product or new services. So there should be a marketing strategy. That is sale promotion. You have to do the sale promotion. So what is the marketing strategy? How is going to do the sale promotion? Whether distributing the handbills or placing the big hoarding in the main places, or TV advertisement, or paper advertisement, magazines, advertisement in magazine, or road show. Sometimes, yeah, arranging a road show, exhibiting the product, distributing the handbills, or pasting the posters, creating awareness among the people. There is a new product. There is a new product, maybe competitive product, with the competitive price. So how he is going to do the marketing, sale, promotion? So this vary from the very big organization or very big project to a small project. A small project, he won't be able to do market sale promotion in a very large way. Maybe he may print some handbills and distribute. But in the case of a big project, they may have the TV advertisement, TV drama promotions, hoardings, paper advertisement, yes, depending on. So what is the cost involved? What is the cost for that one? We have to find out. So these are expenditures. So when you collect all this information, only finally you can justify whether this is credit-worthy project. But now, justification of the market potential. Justification of the, you have to justify the market potential for this product or services. Okay. Now, Now the time is 3:28, so 3:30. We have a short break. We will meet by 3:45. Now there is we take a short break and meet by, again come to 3:45. We start by 3:45. Okay. Well, let us start now. Market appraisal. So main buyers, local, foreign, we have discussed. Marketing strategy, how we are going to do the marketing in sale promotion, what are the things we are going to do for the sale promotion, then justification of the market potential. And finally, that is the market appraisal. We will be doing all these things. Okay. Next, we move on to, after doing the market appraisal, technical appraisal. So this is also very important, technical appraisal. Basic approach for the technical appraisal is same, but differ based on the project types. Depending on the project types, the technical appraisal will differ. We have different type of technical appraisal: agricultural projects, livestock projects, fisheries and aquaculture projects, industrial projects, construction projects, marketing projects. These are the type of projects. So we had to do the technical appraisal in respect of these projects. First, we take agricultural projects. So in an agricultural projects, we have to do the land utilization plan, cropping calendar, we have to prepare. So now for an example, a company want to do banana cultivation in 50 acres land, in maybe in an irrigated, under irrigation. Say, let us say in the Mahavali area, 50 acres of land. Agricultural projects. Please, the white board, click on the white board. So you can see agricultural projects. Agricultural projects. There are, of course, two things: land utilization plan, and then cropping calendar. Agricultural. So maybe they want to do it in a 50 acres land. Land. So how the land utilization plan? Maybe banana cultivation, 50 acres, actually banana, and maybe various other crops also they want to plant. Other crops also they may So 50 acres. So we will have the plan now. $50 acres. 10 acres. Banana cultivation. 10 acres or 20 acres. 10 acres, 10 acres, 20 acres. Banana cultivation. So this cultivation, once you establish banana cultivation, this cultivation is going to be there for, there is a, depending on the cultivation method, In certain areas, cultivation, once you cultivate, the crop will be there for about 5 years. After 5 years only, they uproot and replant it, maybe with some other crop. They may be replant with some other crop, banana. But some areas, annually, they plant, the crop will come, they get the harvest annually, and then they cut off, they uproot, and again plant. This is two types of cultivation practice. Then you must know that one. Then 10 acres, that's 20 acres. Maybe another 10 acres, manioc, cassava, manioc. This is 10 acres. Manioc. Here, there are different type of manioc varieties. Certain manioc varieties are 6 months, certain are 8 months. So depending on that one, you will. Certain manioc varieties, 6 month period. 6 months you can uproot and get the cassava. And some varieties are 8 months variety. Then mangoes. Mango. And the 10 acres. Mango. Plantation. Then in the 10 acres, other crop. Other crop means chilies, chilies. Chilies will be there for, once you plant, that will be there for about 8 months. So mango is a perennial crop, perennial. This will go for 10, 15 years. So right, this will go for 10, 15 years. Cassava, let us see, 8 months. So now this is the crop in extent. This is the period. So months, we put it in months. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, we go on, months. So banana will be there, let us say 1 year crop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here it will be uprooted after 1 month. It will be uprooted, again planted, banana. So it may go on. Or some other crop you may plant. So here also it is like that. 1, 2. Cassava, let us see 8 months variety. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to here. they uprooted, and again you can plant cassava. In a land about 4 or 5 times you can continuously plant. So again cassava. So this is also cassava continuous. Here banana. After uprooting again you can plant. Right. Mango, it is permanent. Go for about 10-15 years. Yeah. Chili is 8 months. 8 months. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here chilies. Up to here chilies. Then after that, you uproot the chilies, you pluck, harvest the chili, and then uproot. Then you can plant onion. Onion is 2.5, 3 months. So from here, 1, 2, 3. Here it's an onion. After chilies, you are planting onion. Here 8 months. Here 8, 9, 10. Here 11 months. So after onion, you may plant some vegetables. So this is chilies, onion, and vegetable because under irrigation. This is under irrigation. This is under irrigation. So this is land utilization plan. This is land utilization plan. So here 50 acres, how are you going to utilize? So 10 acres, that is banana, 20 acres. Then 10 acres cassava, that is manioc. Then 10 acres mango. Then 10 acres other vegetable crops, cash crop and vegetables. So chilies 8 months, then onion 2 months. From planting 2.5 to 3 months you will get the harvest, and thereafter vegetables. So this is a cropping calendar and land utilization. At the same time, cropping calendar also, because here after 12 months banana, and then you get the harvest, uproot, and then this is one system of cultivation. Then annually you uproot banana, you get the harvest, uproot it, and again replant it. But in certain areas, once you plant the banana, certain varieties, if you plant that particular varieties, that will be there for 5 years period. After that only, they get the harvest throughout the years and then uproot and plant again. Maybe with banana or some other crop they may plant. So this is the land utilization plan, and then cropping calendar also. But if you are cropping some other things, maybe other vegetable varieties, bandaka, brinjal, like that, or maybe soya you can plant, or maybe green gram you can, undu, black gram. Yes. So depending on that one, what extent you are going to plant, how is the cultivation? See, sir. Once you prepare this cropping calendar and the land utilization plan, this you can use it for various other purposes. Once, what is the cost estimation? Now, banana, 10 and plus 10, 20 acres land. So 20 acres land, how much is the land for the banana cultivation? How is the cost estimation? Land preparation, and then digging the holes, planting, fertilization, all those things. How much fertilizer, fertilization, all those things you can plan. And then how is the harvest? In these 20 acres, how many plants you can? How many plants you can plant? So from those plants, how many bunches of banana? So the both you can plan it. what is the income generation, what is the expenditure. Based on this cropping land utilization plan and the cropping calendar, once you prepare a good land utilization plan and the cropping calendar, from that one, the both you can estimate. That means what is your cost estimation and how is the income estimation you can do. Labor utilization, how much is the plowing expenses? You had to disc it and then plowing, you had to do that one. Land preparation, digging the holes, fertilizer application. For that one, how is that labor, initial expenditure? If you are using irrigation expenses or if you are using drip irrigation, what is the investment cost on drip irrigation? Establishing the drip irrigation, very easily you can plan it. Once you've done this, land utilization plan and the cropping calendar, you can easily plan the investment cost, then other running expenditure, and then income generation, everything you can. So this is agricultural projects. So in certain cases, weeding, that you have to remove the grasses, weeds you have to remove for the purpose of weeding. What is the expenses? Labor. Then sometimes you have to use the chemical weedicides, pesticides to control the diseases. So depending on the cropping plan, cropping calendar, and the extent land utilization plan, you can estimate how much of pesticides you need, how much of weedicide you need. So what is the cost of those items? You simply plan. And very simply, plan, estimate all these things. And similarly, how much is the income generation from one plant, this much of bunches or fruits. Then based on the price, how much is it? You can plan it. So this is agricultural projects. Then the livestock projects. So for you to do the technical appraisal, one thing, the credit officer may not know how to plant the banana, how to plant cassava, how to plant mango. In case of pepper, so there's a heavy demand for pepper cultivation because of export potential. Because of export potential, yes, high demand for the pepper cultivation. Similarly, ananasi, pineapple, so different fruits. So the credit officer may not know how to do this cultivation, how to do the banana cultivation, cassava cultivation, mango, how to do chilies. In that case, he has to consult an agricultural expert, or he can go to the agriculture department. There you can introduce yourself and you can explain him what is the information you need. So they will help you. They will help you. So this is the way. Right. Then this is agricultural projects. Similarly, livestock projects, how to do the technical appraisal. How to do the technical appraisal. Livestock project. When we say livestock projects, it may be a dairy farming project, that may be a dairy cattle, or maybe dairy buffalo, dairy buffaloes project. Maybe a dairy cattle project or dairy buffalo project. Yes. or maybe goat farming. Goat farming project, or maybe swine farming, that is pigs, swine farming project. Maybe a rabbit. Maybe a rabbit farming project. Yeah. Livestock projects. Dairy farming. So it may be dairy cattle or dairy buffaloes, goat farming, swine farming, that is pig farming, rabbit farming project. So in these projects, for you to make the income and expenditure estimation, expenditure estimation, you have to prepare the herd flow. Herd flows. We call it herd flow. Herd flow. So the project years, there will be project years. Year 1, year 2, year 3, it will go on so. So different in a farm, you may have different animals, different animal. We call it dairy cows. You may have dairy cows. So under dairy cows, you are purchasing. Now you are purchasing 25 animals, 25 cows. Dairy cows, 25. So you are purchasing adult cows, breedable cows. That means breedable cows means they can produce calves. Then the year 1, you are purchasing these 25 cows. Then what will happen? Out of these purchasing dairy cows, sometimes some animal may die. We call it mortality. So mortality. Generally, mortality in the case of dairy cows, we assume certain things. So, but the assumption should be a realistic assumption. Whatever thing in the project financing, so many things we are assuming, assumptions. But those assumptions should be realistic assumptions. That should be realistic assumption. Purchasing. And the mortality. Maybe 2%. If there are 100 animals, 2 animals may die in a year. So 25%, 25 animals. So if there are 50 animals, if it is 25 animals, less than 1. So what you can do is mortality 0, the first year. And then out of the 25 animals, you are buying 25 animals thinking they will give a good amount of milk. Sometimes some animal may not give. So you have to see, even when you do a dairy farming project in a correct way, you must always see the animal you purchase are in good condition, whether they are giving the correct anticipated amount of milk. So that means Otherwise, if they don't give, you have to cull. You have to cull them. That is, you have to iron curl eka apo vikunanda. So that also may be cull animal. Assume 2%. Right. So 2%. Here 2%. So in both these things 4%. That means if there are 100 animals, 4 animals either die or you will cull. If there are 50 animals, 2 animals either cull or die. If there are 25 animals, 1 animal. So for these two things, instead of that one, you can assume 1 animal either cull or die. 1 animal. So closing stock. One minute, 24. Closing animal 24. So similarly, this is during the first year. And this animal may calf also. When you are purchasing these animal, there may be some animal may be milking, some animal may be pregnant. Or after purchasing, you would have made them pregnant. After purchasing, you would have made them pregnant by way of artificial insemination, AI method. Some animals may be pregnant. So, yeah, you assume certain percentage animal will give birth. So the first year, the giving birth percentage, that is calving percentage, we call it calving percentage, will be lesser. You can assume lesser. And over a period of years, that calving percentage will increase it. So first year, we assume, say about calving percentage, first year, 60%. 60%. Calving percentage, 60%. So if it is 60%, out of these 24 animals, how many calves would have been born? How many calves would have been born? So calving percentage, we will write here, I am writing here, calving percentage, first year, 60%. So out of 24, calving percentage into 0.6, 14.4, so we take 14. Number of calves born, 14. First year. And another thing, how many male calves, how many female calves? We have to plan. How many male calves, how many female calves? There, our assumption 50-50%. So male calf 7, female calf 7. Male calf 7, female calf 7. Yes, also male calf 7, female calf 7. And then out of this 14 calves have milk. After giving birth to the calf, 14 animals out of this 24, 60% is giving birth. So 60%, that is 14 animals, give milk. So milk production, there will be milk production. So that means 14 animal, if they would have bought a good quality animal, average milk yield may be a good quality animal under good condition, say about 12 liters. So into 12 liters, 14 animal into 12 liters per day, into, we assume about, after calving, about 305 days, the animal will give milk. So into 305 days, the animal will give. So first year, the animal will give the milk production. We assume milk production 51,240 liters first year. 240 liters. So similarly, see, this way there are assumptions. You have to make assumption. Calving percentage. So assumption I am raising this one. Then the second year also you have to construct. This is you have to make the projection. Herd flow projection. Herd flow projections. Herd flow projections. Year 1, year 2, year 3, say about up to 5 years, herd flow projection. So for you to make this projection, but you must know assumptions. So what are the assumptions? Certain assumptions you have to make. One is calving percentage. Calving percentage. Year 1, year 2, year 3, so on. So year 1, of course, you are starting, the calving percentage may be 60%. Year 2, it will improve. Year 2, it will improve 70%. Year 3, it will further improve 80%. That is, out of 100 animals, 80 animals will give birth. After giving birth, 80 animals will be in milk. So first year, 60 animal. Out of, if there is 100 animal, 60 animal will give birth to calves and give milk. So second year, 70 animal will give birth and third year, 80%. So in a herd, maximum 80% of the animals will be in milk. Maximum 80% of the animals will be in a good farming, good dairy farming project. Maximum 80% of the animals will be give birth and will be in milk. Then calving percentage. Mortality of cows. That will be adult cows. The death of adult cows will be very low percentage. You can assume about 1% or 2% throughout. Mortality of calves. Mean calves will be little more. Mortality of the calves will be little more. Say about, under good management, it will be around 5%. In some cases, if the management is bad, the mortality may be about 10% also. Can go up. Then the milk yield per cow. Milk yield. How many milk yield? Average. Actually, after calving, milk production will start. Up to 2-3 months, the milk production will go up. Milk production will go up. And then the milk production will decline. It will go for about 310 months. That is about 305 days it will go. So milk yield on an average. On an average, so in case if they are buying a good quality animal, average quality about 10 liters. If they are buying a very good quality like Nurelia or Nurelia and Hatton, Navalapitiya, you can see that type of animal. They can give about 20 liters of animal. So where you are going to have this farm, depending on that farm, you have to have a suitable dairy cow, which is suitable for that climatic condition. So in your area, you are having high yielding cow. So like areas like Kurnagala, we call them intermediate zone. Nuerelia and those areas are wet zone. Wet zone, of course, upcountry, very cold climate, you can have good quality animal, which is giving about 20-25 liters of milk. Kurnagala, you can have about animal 12 liters of milk. And places like Anuradhapura, Polanaruva, you can have it is 8 to 10 liters of milk. So depending on the climatic condition, you must have the dairy cattle suitable for the climatic condition. And depending on that one, milk yield also. So anyway, here we assume about 12 liters. Maybe initially 10 liters, but with the time improvement of management practices, it will become 11 liters, maybe later 12 liters. With the management practices, the milk production may go up. So milk yield per cow. So mortality of cows, milk yield per cow, and price of milk, you have to assume per liter how much. If you are that place to place now, it is differ the type of marketing, whether you are giving to the milko the milk, or whether you are giving to the Nestle the milk, or you are giving to Kotmale the milk, depending on that one purchasing price. Yes, you have to find out. And so these are assumptions. So based on this one, you have to make assumption and then make your production projection, the herd projection. So with this assumption and the herd projection, you can estimate income and expenditure. You can make income and expenditure based on the assumption and based on your herd projection. So this is livestock projects. So this, of course, for the herd dairy cattle. Similarly, the dairy buffalo also, you must have the herd projection, you must have the assumption. Based on that one, income and expenditure projection you have to make. Goat farming also, yes. Goat is mainly for, goat can give, there are two types of goats. For the milk production, there is one variety. And for the meat production, another variety. There are dual purpose goats also there, that is giving milk as well as you can slaughter and get the meat. So there also you make the herd projection and make the assumption. From those two, herd projection and the assumption, you can find out income and expenditure projection you can make. Similarly, swine farming, that is pig farming, there also you have to make the herd projection and you have to make the assumption. From there, the swine farming is mainly for, that is only for meat, and it has export potential also. So there also you will have assumption and you will have herd projection. From both, you can project income as well as expenditure. You can make income projection and the expenditure projection you can make from those both, that is herd projection and the assumptions. So this is livestock projects. Technical appraisal of livestock projects. And even the other things also, what are the diseases and the disease control measures. All these things comes in the technical appraisal. Diseases, disease control, precautionary measures, biosecurity measures, all these things will come under the technical appraisal. You have to do it. Then poultry farming, poultry. Poultry farming. Poultry farming for two types. One is layers for the egg production, broilers for meat production. So here also you will have bird flow chart. Bird flows. How many layers you have bought? There will be mortality and you will have the assumption. What is a laying egg laying percentage? Like that, you will have the assumption and you make the bird flow charts. For the broilers, a bird flow chart. For the layers, a bird flow chart. From that flow chart, you will get the income estimation and expenditure projections you can make. Income projection and income expenditure projection for a period of 3 years. Annually, you can prepare from the herd flow chart. So, bird flow chart. So this is for the poultry. And then fisheries projects. Fisheries projects. The fisheries projects have been one, marine. That is sea. Single day boat, and multi-day boat. Both types are there. So here also you will have the estimation, and based on that one, income and expenditure projection you have to make. Fisheries, the marine fisheries. Other one, aquaculture. Especially the shrimp farming, is it right? Shrimp farming. That is prawn farming, shrimp farming. That is prawn farming. There are ponds. They are growing the shrimp or the prawns in the ponds. So in the pond, different ponds, 1 month age, 1 month old, 2 months, like that, you will have them. So you will put fingerlings, small shrimps. And then you feed them, you grow them, you harvest them and sell. So this is shrimp farming. They are growing in the ponds. And then ornamental fish farming. Ornamental fish farming. They are called the small fish fingerlings. They are grown and exported. There are various types of colorful fishes, fish and various types of fish farming. Exported. For export potential it has. Ornamental fish farming. And really, Polonnaru area is very famous for this ornamental fish farming. This aquaculture shrimp farming is coastal areas, Puttalam, the coastal area up to Puttalam. This shrimp farming is famous. Actually, earlier the shrimp farming got affected by a disease. A lot of people lost their investment, but anyway, now it is going on with control measures. They have implemented certain control measures. With the control measures, the shrimp farming is going on in those areas. So they are grown in ponds, different extent of 4 different ponds. So how, based on that one, you can project your income and expenditure, and you have to make your assumption. All these cases, you must have the assumption, very realistic assumption. Based on the realistic assumption, you can make your income and the expenditure projections you can make. Then, these are the fisheries projects. And here also the diseases, various diseases you have to analyze. And how to control the diseases, these are coming under this technical appraisal. All these things you have to consider under this technical appraisal. Then the industrial projects. So that include processing, mining, milling, value addition, quality improvements. Processing, yeah, now manufacturing is not included here. Yeah, you have to include manufacturing, processing, mining, milling, value addition, quality improvements, etc. Manufacturing, you are manufacturing certain items. You are manufacturing certain item, maybe manufacturing of soap or manufacturing of food items. Manufacturing of food items. Manufacturing of chemical items, cleaning products. Cleaning products. Manufacturing of hand wash under this COVID-19 problem. Yeah, manufacturing of sanitizer, manufacturing of sanitizer. Manufacture. How to manufacture, right? Yes. And then that is manufacturing. Similarly, the processing. Certain products are there. You are processing it. You are processing it. Then mining. Gem mining, graphite mining, like that. Milling. Paddy milling. Yes. Value addition. Yeah, maybe value addition. What is value addition? Product is always there. Product is there. Product is there. Value addition. That is improving the quality, appearance through packaging, packaging, covers like that. Oh, improve the quality and appearance, thereby value addition. Here you will get a value added project. You get a value added project. Value addition. Then quality improvements. So all these are industrial projects. And there can be service industry also. That is not there. You better include that one. Service industry. Service. Restaurants. Hospitals. Like that. Hotel, restaurant and hotels. Hospital. Like that. Service industry. And then construction projects. Construction projects. Construction industry. Construction projects. Maybe constructing, there's a project to construct about 40-story building. Apartment building, condominium building, 40 stories. Construction of. So for that construction projects, you must have proper plans, architectural plan, structural plan, all those things. Based on that one, yes, this is a technical appraisal. You will do the technical appraisals. Definitely, a credit officer may not have sufficient knowledge to do the technical appraisal of a big 40-story building. Definitely, he has to consult an engineer, a chartered engineer, expert in the construction work. He has to consult. Similarly, all these things, when the credit officer may not have sufficient knowledge or information about this, about the technical aspects of this project, he has to consult a relevant professional. In the case of agricultural projects, he has to consult agricultural experts, maybe from the Department of Agriculture, or there may be other professional, agricultural professional. In the case of livestock projects, he has to consult a professional, a livestock professional, maybe a veterinary surgeons. In the case of fisheries and aquaculture, there are department dealing with fisheries and aquaculture. Yes, agriculture department, fisheries department. He can consult those people. And industrial projects, different industrial. So 11 people, they have to consult and get the advice and information for him to do the technical appraisal of the 11 projects. Similarly, the construction project, he has to consult a construction engineer, get the advice and relevant information regard to construction projects. Then the marketing projects, yeah, for the marketing of products also, there will be projects. So all these things, the technical appraisal is very, very important because the credit officer may not have the sufficient information. So to fill that gap, he has to consult the relevant professional to get the advice, technical appraisal. Technical appraisal, basic consideration. So in the case of to complete the technical appraisal, there are certain basic considerations we must have. One is infrastructure facilities. Infrastructure facilities. So when we say infrastructure facilities, to get the infrastructure facilities, that is power. So depending on the nature of the project, whether maybe single phase power or three phase power, yeah, he has to work out. Then water, maybe sometime the project may be water consuming project. Water may be. Now bottled water. Bottled water. So yes. Then road access. To the project site and suitability of the location. Whether that location where they want to establish the project is suitable for the purpose, for the particular project. So this is technical appraisal. It's a part of technical appraisal the credit officer has to consider. So in the technical appraisal, infrastructure facilities, power and other utilities like water, etc., communication, yes, he has to. Then the production process is the important thing. How the particular item is manufactured. How a particular item is manufactured. That we call it production process. How it is done. How it is done. Production process. How it is done. Now, we will be discussing this one later. The production process in an elaborate way we will discuss. Because it is very important, the credit officer should know how to assess the production process. Yeah. Then fixed asset requirement. What are the fixed assets required for this particular project? When we say other fixed assets, when we say fixed asset means fixed assets. Fixed assets, land, building, machinery, vehicles, other fixed assets. Like furniture and fittings. So if you are an IT, you are furniture and fittings, computer systems, air conditioners, standby generator, etc., etc. These are other fixed assets. So these are the, so depending on the project, what are the fixed assets required for the project? Fixed asset requirement and their suitability and availability. So the appraisal officer must judge whether these fixed assets are necessary and these are whether suitable, whether these are available. So he has to. Fixed asset, yes, requirement. What are the fixed assets? The land extent, the customer may have the land about 10 acres. Customer may have, but for the project, 2 acres is enough. So you must consider only the 2 acres. By taking the 10 acres, customer's equity may be very big equity. So not the 10 acres. 10 acres may be there, customer owns 10 acres. But for the project, if 2 acres is sufficient, we must consider only 2 acres and its value for the project purpose. Like that way. So fixed asset requirement, we have to see what are the fixed assets, whether it's actually required, whether they are suitable, and whether they are available. Then install capacity and the capacity utilization. Another important thing in the industrial projects, the appraisal officers should consider install capacity. This install capacity is for machineries. For machineries. So when you buy a machinery for a project, for a purpose, when you buy machinery, then you must find out what is the capacity of production. How, right, now, maybe. Now, let us see. Plastic production, plastic item produce projects. A project to produce plastic item. There are 2 types of technology for the production of plastic. One is blow model, other one is injector model. Blow model, injector model. So, blow model machinery and injector model. Machinery. So there are 2 types of machinery for the plastic production. So this blow model machinery, how many items it can produce per unit of time? Maximum how many units or how many items these machineries can produce per unit of time. So per unit of time means maybe per hour or maybe per shift. How many hours shift per 8-hour shift? Or if the machine can work continuously, maybe for day. Or if how many number of days this machinery will work, based on that one per year. So what is the capacity of install capacity? What is the maximum capacity of that machinery? What is the maximum number of items this machine can produce per unit of time? So per hour, it can be per hour. If it can produce 100 units per hour, this also say 100 units per hour. Maximum production. That is the install capacity. That is the install capacity. Per hour, it can produce 100 units. So per 8-hour shift, it can produce 8 hours into 100, 800 units per shift. 8 hours per shift. And if that machine can work continuously, if the machine can work continuously, so 8 hours, in a day 24 hours, so it into 3 shifts. If we can work in 3 shifts. So 3 into 800, 2400 per day maximum units can be produced. So per day maximum, how many units? 2400 units. That is the capacity of installed capacity. Installed capacity. So when you are purchasing the machine for industrial purpose, what is the installed capacity of the machine? That is, what is the maximum unit that item can be produced by that machine in a unit of time. Then the capacity of utilization. That is, okay, it can produce 2400 units per day, 2000 units of plastic item per day. But how many it is producing actually now? So that is for 24 hours. If the machine is working continuously for 24 hours, it can produce 2400. But this machine is now working only 8 hours. Only 8 hours. So it will produce only 800 units, but it can produce 2400 units into 100 capacity utilization. So this is here 33 and 3% only capacity utilization. Capacity utilization is what is the maximum number of items it can produce per unit of time. So capacity utilization is capacity utilization is equal to number of items produced per unit of time divided by maximum number of items can be produced per unit of time into 100%. So capacity utilization is what is the number of items produced per unit of time now divided by maximum number of items can be produced per unit of time into 100. So this unit of time can be per day or per month, per year, like that way. So instead of that one, per unit of time, so I will put here it is per day. Here also it is per day. Number of items. So this is installed capacity and capacity utilization. So if the installed capacity is there, the capacity utilization is very low, that is capital investment is more. The idle capital is there. If the capacity utilization is 25%, another 75% it can produce. If the capacity utilization is 33 and 33.3%, another 66.6%, the capacity is available. So installed capacity and the capacity utilization also another important thing under technical appraisal you have to consider. Capacity utilization. Then input requirements, yeah. If it is manufacturing, what are the inputs? That is raw material. Raw material requirements. Inputs. Input requirements. Whether these inputs, the raw materials are available in the market. Whether those are suitable for the production. whether the quality of these inputs or raw material are good, whether the quality of the raw material or the input are good, whether it is available in the market. That you have to find out. These are all under technical appraisal, basic consideration. Then power and fuel requirement. Yes. Now power. For the production, for the manufacturing, power is necessary. What type of power? It is electricity power or any other power? Fuel. So electricity, how many amperes you need? How many amperes you need? Whether the availability of the power is sufficient. Then if it is fuels, yes. What type of other fuel you require? Then other utilities. What are the other utilities? Usage and requirement. How much you require. So all these things you have to do it under technical appraisal. You must consider under technical appraisal. Then another thing, labor utilization. Some projects may be labor intensive. Now manufacturing. What is it? Garment manufacturing. Labor. So many garment factories, you are aware, they are started and some are closed because of lack of suitable labor. And some people, they send vehicles to the other districts, other areas to bring the labor. It is additional expenditure. So cost will go up. Cost of manufacturing, cost of production will go up. So labor utilization. And you must, what type of skilled labor and unskilled labor, whether you require skilled labor or the unskilled labor. What number that you have to consider. Then technical staff and support. Depending on the technical involvement in the project, technical staff you may need. Technical staff, whether the suitable technical staff is available. Availability, selection, what are the selection criteria to select the technical staff? Then technical know-how. Some production process, you need some technical know-how, whether it is available. Or you are going the local or the foreign collaboration. Sometimes to get the technical support, technical know-how, you may go for the collaboration, whether it is a local collaboration or the foreign collaboration. You have to find out. Then input storage. For the input supplies, raw material, whether you have the storage. Similarly, the output, whether you have the storage, especially paddy milling. For 6 months storage, you have to keep your paddy. Now, because paddy growing is seasonal, once you harvested, then next harvest will come after 6 months. For those entire 6-month period, you have to keep the stock, paddy stock, because daily you have to mill the paddy and you have to supply for the human consumption. So input supply, so input storage, you must have a huge warehouse. You must have a, yes, big storage facility. Similarly, output also, you must have the storage facility. So input and product storage facility. And finally, environmental consideration. Whether this project, how is with the environment? Environment friendly, or it causes problem to the environment. There are so many projects started and had problem with the environment. And people went against them because of this environment problem. So environment consideration, you must have the environmental consideration. Whether this project produce noise pollution, yeah. Whether it is produce air pollution, water pollution, yes, environmental consideration. Now, sawmill projects, environmental problem, noise pollution. Even some chemical factories, environmental problem, water pollution, air pollution. even paddy mill, air pollution, bad smell. So whether there are any environmental consideration, how to control these problems, you must have. All these things you have to consider under technical appraisal. And finally, so after considering all these things, finally, you have to make your suggestions. And you have to give your recommendation. Yes, technically, this project is or viable. So technically, you have to go through all these things, and finally, you must say technically. Maybe other appraisal, of course, we have to think later. But this is technical appraisal. You have to say technically, this project is acceptable, implementable. You must give your recommendation. If it is really acceptable, you have to give your recommendation. Right. Under the technical appraisal, I have to tell you about production process. Under technical appraisal, I have to tell you about production process. Actually, now if we go back, aftermarket appraisal, technical appraisal, agricultural projects, how I have told you, explained. Then technical appraisal, the basic consideration in regard to industrial projects, these infrastructure, facilities, and all those things I have explained. Then basic consideration, yeah. Yes. No. Production process, technical appraisal, basic consideration. After infrastructure facilities, I have mentioned about production process. It's an important thing. You must know. Depending on what type of item or the services they are providing, so you must have the production process. You must know. So what is production process? We are going to discuss about production process. What is production process? Meaning of production process, from the inputs, industrial project. This is for the industrial projects. That is raw material. Now product. That is output. From the inputs, how an output is made. That is from the raw material. Okay, how. That is the production process from the output. So this is production process. Projects, production process. How the output is made. This is known as production process. So for this thing, we will take an example. We take an example from paddy. How price is made. how the rice is made from paddy. So what is the production process? How the rice is made? Here the paddy storage is there, paddy storage. Paddy storage. So for the paddy, actually paddy is coming from the field. Paddy field, it is coming from the field. The paddy miller purchased and keep it in their storage, input storage. They kept. So since it is coming from the paddy field, the paddy of course will have the sand and small stones will be here. So before milling, that unwanted things, soil, sand and small stones should be removed. So from there is a machinery called stone remover. So the paddy is first go through the stone remover. It's a machinery. When the paddy is going through that one, the small stones will be removed. Small stone, gull, valley, sand will be removed. If the soil, if the gull Sugi, நான் lectureல நிக்கிறேன். Sugi, நான் lectureல நிக்கிறேன். Lecture. Okay. So, stone remover. If the stones and sand are very heavy in that paddy, then you have to use maybe about 2 machines. Again. So this also, stone remover. So now the paddy is free of stone and sand is coming. Then you have to mill the paddy. So another machinery we call huller. Okay. So now the paddy is, the outer cover is removed. Husk is removed. So here the rice will come here. Then that is husk will go separate. Here it is paddy, here paddy, now it is coming rice. Okay. This rice also sometimes some stones or some sand may be there. So again stone remover. So now the rice without any sand or stone. But if it is sambar rice, there may be colored rice may be there, colored rice particle may be there. So you have to separate that one. Otherwise, sambar should be, when you take sambar rice, it should be pure white color. Then only people will like it, sambar. Sometimes if there are any black or colored rice, then people may not like. So there is another machinery to remove this type of colored particles. Color separator. We call it color separator. Let me see. Then, now the rice, now you have to polish the rice. Now you have to polish the rice. So outer the you have to polish it and remove the how do you call it rice polish bran, rice bran. Here you have to remove that one. So now the polisher, another machinery called polisher, rice polisher. Rice polisher. Now the rice is polished. Now you can do what you can packing, weighing and packing machine, weighing and packing machine. And from there, it go to the product storage. It go to the product storage. So, paddy storage, to the paddy storage, from the field, the farm, paddy will come. The paddy may be mixed with the stone and sand, so you have to remove it. So their machine, depending on the heaviness of the this stone and sand with the paddy, you may have to use 1 or 2 machines. So they will remove those, and then it will go through the huller. The huller will be remove the outer cover of the paddy, that is husk is removed, and the rice will come out. And the rice, yes, there may be still some sand may be there, so use another stone remover to remove those stones and sand. And then there may be colored particles with the rice that will decrease the quality of the sambar rice, so that will be removed. For that purpose, it is sent through color separator machine, and then the rice will be polished. We call it rice polisher. And after that one, it will be weighted and packed, and then sent to the product storage. So this is the production flow chart. We call it, this is the production process, and this is the flow chart. This is the production flow chart of making rice, making raw rice or sambar rice from the paddy. This is making raw rice from the paddy, from the raw material paddy. So this is the production flow chart. So this you have to prepare. So in the sense, the appraisal officer should go through it. Actually, the the consultant who is preparing the project report should include this one, the production process, in the project report. And the appraisal officer should go through and see whether it is correct, acceptable. Right. So once you prepare the production process, flow chart, so many things you can, from that project and flow chart, so many things you can prepare. What is right now? Production flow chart with activities and time dimension. How many hours or minutes will take for each activity? How many minutes will take to that? So this is the activity, the production flow chart, and storage of paddy. From the storage paddy, removing the stone remover. There are 2 machines. What is the time dimension? How many minutes? So it will take. The huller, how many minutes it will take? Then rice, again the stone remover, again the color separator. Yes, and depending on the capacity. Now, what is the capacity of machineries? So maybe this is 10 tons per hour. 10 tons capacity. So this stone remover, 10 tons per hour. This one, 12 tons per hour. This one, 10 tons per hour. This is 8 tons per hour. This is 10 tons per hour. So this is also 10 tons per hour capacity. This is also 10 tons per hour. Now, so 10 tons will come through this one in 1 hour. 10 tons will be stone removed. Again, the capacity is 12 tons, but here only 10 tons is coming. So 2 tons excess. This is over capacity. So 10 tons will come through. Here this is hull, again 10 tons. 10 tons will be hull, and the outer hull will be removed. Then the rice is coming. Here this is 8 tons. So all the 10 tons come. This will stone removed only 8 tons. Then 8 tons only coming here. So this has a capacity of 10 tons. Only 8 tons come. Here 8 tons come. Here 8 tons come. Then here 8 tons come. And per hour here 8 tons only coming. So 10 tons come here. Here it is a bottleneck. All these things 10 tons, 12 tons, 10 tons. Rice is coming. But here it is 8 tons only allowed. So this is a bottleneck. So excess rice will get accumulated here. It is like a wider road, then this is a narrow bridge. So many vehicles are coming, but since the bridge is narrow, only limited number of vehicles only can go. So other vehicles have to wait here. The traffic jam because of the narrow bridge. Similarly here, so 10 tons paddy is coming and then 10 tons rice is coming. Here only 8 tons will allow to go. So this is a bottleneck. So when you are selecting the machine, the machinery should be suitable for the production process. It should be balanced. So we call it machinery balancing. Machinery balancing should be there. So at the time of preparation of the project, so the machinery should be identified and properly balanced number, capacity balancing. Machinery capacity balancing should be properly done. And this production process flowchart is very, very essential and necessary for so many other purposes. We will be discussing that one. Maybe in my next lecture, we will continue this. Maybe in my next lecture, I will continue this. Okay. Thank you. If you have any doubt, anything if you don't understand, kindly you can contact me. You can contact me if you don't understand anything. If you need any clarification, note 777 708 184. I am Logan. You can contact me. Okay, thank you very much.